Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to the start of a brand new campaign series here today on the channel. We're back on Empire Total War Darthmod. We're playing as Prussia here today. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. Let me know in the comments, feedback and suggestions for the series, and we'd like to expand and conquer. We're going to be doing a long campaign, starting in the late campaign in 1783. We're going to be playing as Frederick Wilhelm II. A bit of a sack of spuds throughout his reign. But hey, at the end of the day, you did get the Brandenburg Gate Berliners, so it's a win-win situation, I guess, at the end of the day. So, we're going to be playing as Prussia. The main objective of this series is to make Prussia great again. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me know feedback and suggestions for the series, and let's get stuck right into it.
Your first priority should be to research a superior military drill doctrine at the college in Magdeburg. Once in place, increase the size of your army and look to expand your territory to encompass the region of Silesia to the south. You could then try to link Brandenburg with historic East Prussia, currently separated by Polish-controlled West Prussia. If possible, maintain good diplomatic and trade relationships with fellow Protestant nations such as Britain, Sweden, Denmark, and the United Provinces, whilst watching for the advance of Catholic France and Austria. They may try to claim your lands, and those of your allies, in the name of their corrupt church, and your capital will likely be their first target.
Okay guys, welcome to the campaign map. So, we start off with Brandenburg and Berlin. We also start off with West and East Prussia. We have 4 territories to our name. So, Frederick Wilhelm II is the nephew of Frederick the Great. Prussia at this time period is just coming off the back of the 7 Years' War, so we're a little bit scarred from that. If I'm not mistaken, we should have an alliance with Great Britain. So here's our cabinet. We probably could get a better quality head of state, so we'll bring him in. So, the main objective of this series is to ensure Prussia's legacy. We're going to be fighting a lot on the European continent, which, as we're going to have to fight so many factions to secure our sort of Germanic influence over the States. Oh, we're not actually allied with anyone there. Ah, okay. We've got trade rights with Britain and Russia, though. Okay, so let's try and get some alliances where we can. So, we basically want to try and conquer all the German-speaking factions and all these smaller sort of kingdoms next to us. We've still got Saxony, Bavaria, Westphalia, Württemberg, all to the west of us. I reckon we're going to going to war with Poland here today, trying to take Warsaw because they're quite close to us. We've got a military alliance with Great Britain. That's been sealed and done. That's okay. A little bit of money had to exchange hands, however. Austria, we still got to the south. Russia, I eventually would like to invade. And you can never forget the pesky French to the west. I'd like to set up some colonial empires as well. So, okay, it's a shame. Like, early on, we're probably not going to go with Russia for quite a long time. So, we'll try and get trade rights where we can. Sweden? Hello, Gustav? No. Oh, yeah, he's interested. So, we're currently getting a decent amount of trade, which I'm kind of surprised about because at the moment, we actually don't have too many tradable resources. We've only got manufacturing goods. We're going to have to heavily rely on our tax rate throughout this campaign. Normally, you can rely on overseas colonies as Great Britain, as France, as the United Provinces. So we're going to probably struggle a bit. I would like to get a German United State under our control, modern day. That'd be quite cool. We could launch into the Indian theatre as well. We'll just have to see. But the majority of this Let's Play, we're going to be securing and conquering most of the neighbouring German states. So, diplomacy-wise, we have a military alliance with Britain. That's fantastic. Just going through and just trying to get as much diplomacy off the bat as we can. So, the United States and Britain, very early on, we have an alliance with, which hopefully that doesn't break out into war, those two countries. Okay, so let's see what we're working with militarily and army-wise. So, Saxony in Dresden's quite close to us. We could push against them. Prague as well. Let's move my gentlemen into the universities because that's a really good tip and trick if you haven't done that already. It gives you a nice buff. We are playing in the late campaign, so we do have already fantastic techs done, fire by rank, square formation, whatnot. I did my France campaign at an earlier start period, but I felt like playing as Prussia in a late campaign, as we can play as the nephew, Frederick Wilhelm II. He is obviously the nephew of Frederick the Great. Hopefully, he can live up to his uncle's legacy. So naval, ordnance, military, everything seems to be quite fantastic. So we could maybe sort of sell out this squared formation. We've got fire by rank there, platoon firing as well. We're going to have some of the best quality infantry and muskets in Europe. Cavalry-wise as well, the Germanic hussars we can get sort of towards the end are quite good, so we'll try and get them as best we can. So we want to sort of secure our provinces because we only start off with 4. Austria is actually bigger than us at the moment. We've still got to watch out for Prussia and Poland and Lithuania. Objectives wise, we need to take essentially Germany and Denmark. What we need to take, we could very well at some point in the campaign potentially form the German state. We can actually flip over to be like Germany, like modern day. I'm going to go through here and build some slops around my ports because raiding and stuff and trading is really annoying. Konrad Sulzer is going to be our general, so we'll try and look what's to go with Saxony. So they have no alliances, which is good. So we've got another army here with Otto Riesler. I don't know why that sounds so funny to me. Okay, so we're going to form up an army here. I think going against Saxony is the play, as they don't have any alliances, and we'll be able to get a German state under our control as quickly as possible. We've got August Mischt there, and their army's actually, we might actually be able to rush Dresden. Yeah, let's do that. Let's rush it, because I don't know why the army's over there. We won't call in the States or Britain. We don't need them. We got an alliance with the States pretty easily due to our Protestantism. Or if we call them in, I guess it might give better relations and sort of anger further Germanic states there. Okay, so even though that army's not coming in, they're going to refuse surrender. Let's just continue the siege. We can bring over some more additional reinforcements from Cilicia. So let's move you there. And we'll fight this one. We'll fight this one in Saxony. The problem is, like, there's so many small German states. If we can control as many of them as we can secure Prussia's legacy. So back in West and East Prussia, we'll get August to look to strike against Poland. Okay, we're still sieging out Saxony, and let's play this one for the first battle of the series. We have Konrad Sulzer. Konrad. Yeah, so he has 3,000. We're coming up against 2.6. They have mortars, but let's fight this one on the field. All that is essential for triumphant of evil is that good men do nothing. Edmund Burke, British author, philosopher, and political theorist. That's a really interesting quote for the time we're in at the moment. Not to get existential. But, yeah, I don't know Edmund Burke overly too well, but interesting quote. That's the type of thing you're like, oh, that's a really good quote. Quote? That's a really good... I can't even speak properly now. I'm just trying to articulate my thoughts. So that's a really good quote. And then you're like, oh, let's research Edmund Burke. Yeah. Oh, he's a slave owner. Or something like that. You just never know. I don't think so. He's British. Maybe. I don't know. That's the sort of thing. Endorsing political... It's always the thing. It's always endorsing political theorists and stuff, you just don't know the full story. Also, it's always a bad idea making statues of people who are alive, because things change. Like, they can't do anything crazy when they're dead, the statues. Anyway, let's form up here against the men of Saxony. So we've got 2 line infantry here, and we've got some grenadiers as well. We've even got some hussars as well. So Conrad is going to be, hopefully, like that amazing general we had in the French campaign. So let's make a front line here. But I can definitely see myself doing more Empire on the channel. The French campaign did tremendously well. I've got to thank you guys all for the fantastic support on that. We managed to form a decent colonial empire. We had a lot of fighting in and around Germany and stuff. I'm going to put Conrad here just behind this broken down church, because there are mortar fire, and mortars, especially on this difficulty, absolutely shred and rip through our units. Like, the range on mortars in Darthmod are really good. Like, mortars for the AI are extraordinary. For us, not so much. Not so much. So we've got the 6th Grenadier Regiment here. We've also got some line infantry as well. Conrad is going to sit behind the church, as it's not a destroyable structure. We've got the 9th Light Horse Hussar here, which look really cool. And then we've got some basic 2nd Horse Guard Corsairs there, ready to push on. As we slowly but surely upgrade Brandenburg and Prussia, we're going to get access to the better quality Prussian units. So Saxony is now slowly but surely pushing up. Let's try and close the distance on them and push up this way. We've got reinforcements coming from our left hand side as well. We have the 2nd Regiment of Horse and the 1st Regiment. If we're quick enough, we might be able to pivot and rotate and wrap around and neutralize that mortar fire. They've got some firelock citizenry, and the mortars are starting to shell us now. My additional 2 units of cavalry looking to push on the right-hand side. Sweet. So let me know in the comments where you'd like me to expand and conquer. Connoisseurs of Darthmod. It's been quite a while since I've played a long campaign, so the battles themselves are probably going to be more difficult. Fortunately enough for me, technology-wise, Prussia is always quite good, especially militarily and infantry-wise. But it's going to be different to the French campaign starting in early. It just sort of depends situationally which is better, long or late. I like both, to be honest, but it just depends situationally on the faction. But yeah, I can definitely see myself doing more Darthmod, so let me know in the comments so I can plan ahead. We still haven't played as Spain before, the United Provinces. That would be more sort of a colonial focused campaign, or maybe we could play as the Ottomans. Now that might be difficult just due to their religious penalties pushing up into Austria, the Balkans, and into the Middle East. So my reinforcements are still coming in here now. We do have military supremacy on them. We are getting a little bit shelled here by that mortars, and they're ripping through us here. I want to try and run them down, but they just seem to be intertwining. So my cavalry has engaged their 5th Regiment of Foot that was sitting back, and I don't necessarily know why, but 2 units of cavalry against 1 unit of infantry. We should be able to swarm things up. So they're holding back in a defensive position. My artillery is still currently shelling them under the command of Conrad Sulzer. He will be probably the famed general of this series. So yeah, after we get rid of Saxony, I think the play is to go on after Poland and Lithuania. As we know for certain, for sure, the Russians are going to be eyeing off that Poland-Lithuanian territory. And same with the Austrians. So they still seem to be pushing back here. We're waiting for our infantry to fall up. I don't know how well you get your shot off there. So let's get all my infantry and try and swing up and close the distance. So they're just basically sitting back in the defensive position. That's fine. It's just because there's so many houses there, it's quite hard to intertwine our units forward. They've actually formed up quite well. We're still battling it out here. And Conrad is going to give the charge. We could even send a further unit back. My cavalry's trying to swing around and circle them where we can. Some of my dragoons seem to be skirmishing, but they seem to be reforming the line now. We might have to reform our own here. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we're just going to have to do this on the fly, because there's so many buildings intertwined here, and not only is that annoying, because oh my god, the deployable zones are really buggy. Oh my god, what was that spray one? Gotta love that. Alright, try and target that artillery where you can, because it has been shelling us a bit. So now they're starting to form up properly. I might just charge in my cavalry around the side and pin them down. Okay. The AI's being wacky, but I'm not gonna lie, even we are. Okay, we're absolutely shelling that unit there. We have 3 units of cavalry flanking. We managed to destroy that unit further at the back there. That's being targeted now. We currently have a couple of... That grenadier unit is way too far forward. Why are you there? Like there, that's where you should be. Okay, so we're currently trading within the town of Saxony. Oh! And we've somehow managed to kill the enemy general with a tremendous shot there. So, my cavalry is trying to run down some of the remaining stragglers. We have the 5th Regiment of Foot engaging them. Further down the line, we've got 3 more. The 4th Grenadier. And towards the town, my cavalry is just carving them up. So we had cavalry supremacy for this one. It's probably time to halt my artillery because they're starting to rout. There was only 2, 3, 4 volleys against the against the Saxony garrison, and the Prussian infantry seemed to be victorious. Their army was just outside, but that was a wacky fight to start things off, just due to the terrain, the amount of buildings interlocking has made it a little bit difficult. Yeah, so this campaign's starting in 1783, if you're curious. But yeah, do you think it's a viable strategy, sort of going after Prussia and Russia next? Or maybe I should be focusing on colonial efforts. I definitely do want to try and take some territory, because it's always fun securing those spice and various resources. Why is the 4th? Oh, okay, I was like, why they haven't routed yet? The 4th's like hanging back in the town square. I didn't say that. That's weird. Alright, let's send a unit back and around to deal with that. Yeah, it's like hanging out in the city there. Alright, this is going to be a real test here, because it's actually quite close. So form up where you can. My cavalry's running down the remaining stragglers. What an unorthodox first battle to start off the series. Once we sort of get some room, it should be better. So the 4th Regiment here of Saxony is currently engaging the Prussian line infantry here. So let's get some shots off where you can. Take aim! Ah! And we've also got fire by rank as well. We're trading back and forth. The 1st rank has fallen, the 2nd, now the 3rd. Good on you, boys. And now they are routing the 4th Regiment of Foot. Although they're only garrison infantry, and they're still getting shelled from the nearby area. And victory! We have victory. Alright, let's just continue to run things down where you can. We've won our first victory of the series. Close victory. Okay, sweet. Let's end that one there. Victory! So we only lost 600, we lost 2.6. Looking at the casualties sustained and inflicted, the hussars and cavalry did most of the work. Oh, and because we wiped out Saxony in one fell swoop, so did their army. Their additional army disappeared because we didn't even need to fight that. Well, the city of Dresden is now firmly under the control of Frederick Wilhelm II, the Prussian king. We're bringing more German-speaking states under the German fold. Okay, let's continue on. So, after the siege and conquest of Dresden, it's probably not a bad idea to put some of my economic might into paved roads. So now we actually border with the Austrians in Brandenburg. This is the recruitment that we can get access to. There's some fantastic line infantry to grenadiers. Let's get some light infantry there as well. What else do I like the look of here? I really like the look at those grenadiers. And let's get some more militia there. So, as we're doing a late campaign as well, we do have access to the... Yeah, so we're starting a late campaign. We have access to the later tier units that we wouldn't get. Let's build a farm back in Prussia. And more political buildings where we can, the better. Universities we don't particularly have to focus too much on, because we've got so much territory already researched. We probably could trade with other factions if need be. So it's Prague and Bohemia. Okay, let's end the turn and continue. Military alliance, the United Provinces. Military access, single payment. Sure, I'm actually going to accept those terms. They're not actually at war with anyone. So we've made an alliance with the United Provinces. Also, who we still border with as well. Kurland. Denmark as well, who have Copenhagen and Norway. Copenhagen's actually on our victory conditions at some point. The Maratha Confederacy wants a military alliance, but they demand 1.2. No, I'm not going to accept that because we could very well be drawn into a conflict between the British and the Marathans. There's also still the Mughals. What is this? Poland, Lithuania. That is the biggest joke I've ever seen. Why would I give you West and East Prussia? Get out of here, Poland. I'm probably gonna war deck you and take Warsaw here today, depending on how we go. We've taken Saxony, so maybe the Austrians could get angry. You never know. War declared. Poland and Austria. Oh, that's broken out. And Russia. Spain and Britain. Wow, who would have thought that? Okay, guys, welcome to the top of the turn. I've skipped a little bit ahead to replenish and repair after the short war against Saxony and get 3 professional armies. August Misch has a full stack here. We also have a secondary army here with Konrad Solzer, who is going to be our commander-in-chief for the series. We're going to be declaring war upon Poland, Lithuania here today. They are currently at war with the Austrians and the Russians. Before they can take territory, we want to try and declare war upon them. They do have an alliance with Denmark, so we'll probably be drawn into a war with them. We'll just have to see if we can get around that and would they stand with us. We do have a fair few military allies, of course, the United Provinces, British, and the United States. So we'll try and call them in. So the Dutch didn't come, neither did the Danish, but Kurland managed to stay with them towards the north. Okay, so... yeah, so Estonia... Latvia, okay. So we'll send in Misch to siege the city of Warsaw. We'll continue to siege that one out. And we still have another army towards the south there. Let's allow... Yeah, I could have allowed Conrad to intercept, but what I'm going to do, I might just throw all my eggs into the Poland basket. So they're not going to surrender, that's fine. So we have 10,000 Prussians storming Warsaw against their 4.8. And we've got a smaller army here. Can we push maybe into Lithuania? With Otto, that could be a potential play. So yeah, so we're not at war with Denmark, which is good. Yeah, so we've got a full stack, a third stack sort of split throughout Saxony and Prussia as well. Okay, let's do a quick save and a hard save and aggressively push the Polish here today. So, they have a lot of line infantry, a couple of grenadiers. They actually have less artillery than the war against Saxony. So, we're slowly but surely building my ideal armies, which is fantastic to see in episode 1. Loading in here now. The loading times for Darthmod are actually quite good. My loading times for Divide et Impera seem to be a lot longer. It's just got to do with the assets and probably the files, to be particularly honest. Even though there's reskins, or maybe it's more compressed in Darthmod, and it doesn't rely on the Steam store. I'm not entirely sure. So, with Augustus' army here, we have 5 units actually of grenadiers, 7 units of line infantry, 4 units of cavalry, and 2 artillery pieces. I like to get 3 as a minimum because, you know, artillery absolutely rips through everything in this game, and you have unlimited ammunition. So, let's see what we're working with. So, it's currently winter in Poland. Let's make a front line where we can, and we'll try and elevate our artillery to the highest position. So we're coming off a really good short victory in war against Saxony. Now it's time to put the Commonwealth of Poland and Lithuania to the sword. Okay, let's swing further around here. On the left-hand side, cavalry on the left and right. I'm going to bring the general further back here. So there seems to be a slight amount of elevation there, and we can actually clearly see the town here. So let's angle our artillery pieces where we can and rain fire and death upon Poland. Alright, I'm happy with that deployment. So, they're deploying in sort of 3 distinct groups on what I can see. Let's move my right-hand cavalry to push up and scout, to potentially flank, and same with the left. So they're already looking to push us. The 1st Regiment of Artillery Horse is starting the engagement. So they have firelock armed citizenry, so they've got the basic garrison army. They've got some mortars, but they also have access to some of their infantry here as well. We do have reinforcements. We outnumber them 2 to 1. 10,000 men of Prussia against the Poles here. This is an army that would make Frederick the Great proud. 3rd Grenadier Regiment on the far right. 11th Regiment of Foot in the centre. The 2nd Regiment of Foot as well. So some of the older, battle-hardened recruits there. And here is some more of the better quality grenadiers further to the south. Okay, let's move up my cavalry where we can. So if we can be quick enough to swarm and take the Polish territory, the better. Because we can't afford to allow Russia to take the territory. Prussia and Russia to go to war. To be the best usher, I guess. I don't know. We've also got Austria as well. Who are probably going to be more preoccupied with the Ottomans in this time period, but they still do hold a decent amount of influence over the German sphere. So we've got the 4th Regiment of Dragoons and the 1st here. These guys actually have rifles equipped to their horse, so they're actually going to be able to skirmish some of these guys where we can. Depending on what you use in Darthmod, sometimes you can like dismount, get your shots off, run back, because the battlefields are just so awesome and big in Darthmod. So they've actually turned their back here against me. I gave the charge out, but I'm going to commit to it here. The 5th Regiment is only engaging a militia force. So let's swing you further around here. But once we knock out Poland and Lithuania, who should we go to war with? We've still got Austria quite next to us. Russia as well. France, I guess the German states is probably what we need to focus on. We're going to be so focused on the European continent for quite some time. Because we do start off quite small compared to most of the major powers. I wouldn't be surprised out of like what they call major factions, we might be the smallest. Apart from the Dutch. The Dutch might... the Dutch have less in Europe though, don't they? We're really small this time period, settlement-wise. That's why I've allied up with the States and Great Britain, because I think a war with them probably wouldn't work too well. But you never know where this campaign's going to go, to be honest, because we have to war so many factions. So technically you've got the minor factions that can either have military alliances or puppets. Württemberg, Westphalia, Saxony. Thankfully Saxony didn't have any, which is good. Munich, Württemberg. There's so many small factions that it only takes, France or Austria are guaranteeing them. So they're starting to push up here, mostly on my left flank. So we might have to move up and match them slightly. Let's try and close the distance against them. Man, they are hammering massively for my left flank here. Yeah, let's move up on the right-hand side to try and match it. My cavalry is currently engaging the 1st Polish Lancers. Never forget the Polish winged hussar. The light horse. So we're currently engaging them. They're trying to push up and form a front line. But we are... Yeah, they're trying to like encircle us and get an angle on us. But we are rotating way too quickly for the Poles. We're currently engaging them. Ah! Gunpowder. Bites through the winter air. Man, oh man, it'd be cold fighting in this. And they're swinging more units here. So they're trying to overwhelm and swarm my left-hand side here. So we're trading with the Polish quite well. They are fighting for their freedom at the end of the day. Poland, like historically, just always seems to get conquered or attacked. We've got the German ultimatum in 1939. Yeah, they were controlled by like Russian princes at one stage. They always seem to get smacked, and now the Prussians are coming up against them. We've got the 4th Regiment engaging them there. But overall, we seem to be trading quite well. They've only lost 50 in that regiment, while we're still holding on here as well. Keep your powder dry, man. Because you forget. What the hell? How's my phone doing that? You forget that snow is just wet. Like it's really, really damp. If you've been in it a lot. So that's always a difficult thing. We've got the proper winter clothing. But maybe we could as well declare war upon Russia. They're actually forming square there as cavalry's trying to rotate and flank around them, which is interesting. They're trying to surge my center here, and my right-hand side isn't really doing too much. So we'll quickly try and neutralize their artillery. It wasn't really doing too much to me anyway, compared to the mortars in the Saxony fight. They're still holding out there. They've got 3 units actually trying to swarm, and they're actually breaking my center there. You got to give it to the Poles. They've charged the Prussian center and have nearly collapsed it. We're still trading there. Let's grab everyone here. Yep, and let's swing you further up and around. I don't believe that. So that was actually a viable strategy for them. We need to wrap massively around that right-hand side. I was getting a little bit too preoccupied with my cavalry engaging there. Crazy men of Poland. Poland strong. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, so the 3rd Grenadiers are hanging back here. It's the... Yeah, there's actually a fair few individual infantry units here skirmishing back because You forget that was a thing in this time period. When armies retreat, they usually have their skirmisher forces hold back and pick off. You just have 1 or 2 units pick off and try and hold units trying to run and chase them down. From what I can remember, Napoleon had some of the best of it. Yeah, so they've really just attached bayonets and charged. They're like, stuff it. We won't fight you with your fiery sticks. We'll just beat you up. A German and a Polishman in a fight. Polishman probably win. I'm strong. I have no idea. Alright, you pull you here. Okay, so we're still engaging on that left there. Now, numerically, we're still doing okay. Because we've basically got a second free army to come in. But I'm surprised how well some of them are actually holding. I think it's mostly the weaker units there. My cavalry's been ripping through them in and around the rear. Yeah, but individually they still seem to be holding their own. Maybe my center was a little bit too thin. That's more likely what happened. Okay, we're still engaging them there. They're now broken on the far left. That's fine. The 3rd Regiment Foot is still getting their shots off. And they're charging. They've probably even got higher melee attack due to this later start period as well. Ah, because we lost a couple of units, we've got some reinforcements coming in. Okay, we'll move you up here because there still seems to be a cluster still holding. And they're now engaging this. So if you can engage that, and I'll try and move this corner higher up. Oh yeah, you... maybe that's it, because there seems to be a little bit of low ground there. Alright, cavalry, we really need you to try and run down as many of the retreating enemy combatants as we can. Yeah, they seem to be holding out still. Continue to trade where you can. So I think so far we've got enough military alliances to secure our position on the continent, because sometimes essentially massive coalition wars can get broken out in this. If you get like Prussia, Austria and France on your back, it can be quite difficult, because although historically you'd think Spain and Britain wouldn't allow Prussia to fall, they don't have the most invasion nuance, do they? Okay, let's try and form up here where you can. So they're retreating and actually holding on. Retreating, holding on. So we just need to advance, hold, fire by rank, advance, and then just continue on. My cavalry here has managed to wrap around the 6th Regiment of Polish Foot, and they should be able to break them there. Yeah, 2 more units have just come back here, and now we're exposed on this position. Let's push up and try and match it. And we've got to watch out for that squared formation there as well. So push up and... actually, fall back, fall back. They've actually cooked me there on this left-hand side. Man. They're making us grind out this one. They're actually baiting me hella hard. Yeah, fall back and make a long front line. Yeah, so we're advancing well there. Just when they pick us on the angles. They're really hammering this left flank than anything. Yeah, maybe it's just got a lot... No, there's grenadiers here. Maybe it's just my perception. Yeah, no, they got the best grenadiers there. Maybe they're just trying to focus that, because if that falls, they're good. Okay. The 5th is still holding off theirs. The right-hand side still prevails. They pressurized us on the... They're kind of holding us on the flanks. They shattered my middle a little bit there. And now it's a 3v3 on that far side. Yeah, just try and engage a unit where you can and push up. Okay, we've got another spare unit here, and we've got artillery still peppering them. But August, the conqueror of Warsaw, seems to be working. For the fatherland! Alright, let's swing around here. For Prussia! It also sort of depends what theatre as well we go on our colonial conquest to. We could maybe start a German state somewhere in the United States. That'd be quite cool. Or maybe even India. We'll just have to see. Okay, now as you can see, we're sort of pragmatically pushing at units where we can. Yeah, just because they keep on coming back, they actually like shatter and hold quite well. And then drag us into angles. Maybe we need to be a little bit tighter there. Yep. Man, oh man, they've put us through the ringer in this one. Better than that Saxony fight. But that just shows you how much better open field battles are. Maybe they should just remove buildings because they're sometimes incredibly clunky. Like this open field battle was fantastic. We actually had a couple in the French campaign. Like, if you guys can remember, I'm trying to think, looking back on that series now, one of my favourite battles was the French engagement of Württemberg. It was really, really fun. Like that bridge battle, even that bridge battle actually glitched out. Now thinking like that one of the buildings bugged out. But the whole of the river worked tremendously well. Okay, we're still trying to run down the poles here. Oh, we're actually getting shattered there against just citizenry. Charge them down. That's good. They seem to be holding tremendously well. Maybe I've underestimated the fire, rifle, technology and morale of Poland, Lithuania. Because, yeah, they were quite prominent in this period. I think they even had more territory. I think Prussia is actually harder in a early campaign because you actually start off at war with more people and you have less territory, I think. But I thought I'd mix things up. Play a late campaign as we did an early one before. And yeah, so Poland now are currently on the back foot. We're going to try and run down the remaining stragglers. Yeah, look at the balance of power on the bottom left there. 99 to 1 basically, on 95 from that, what I can see. So we've had a successful fight here and we're going to be able to take the city of Warsaw in Poland. Alrighty, let's end that one there. Close victory, eh? Tell the men to fight faster and not to give up the ship. Fight till she sinks. James Lawrence, United States Naval Captain, his last words on the USS Mississippi. That's what he's probably on. I don't know. Anyway, victory. A tremendous one. 200 to 300 kills on some of them, and we're slowly but surely bringing up the German war machine. Poland is now taken. So they've still got an army towards the south, hanging out in the university, and they've also got Lithuania towards the north. Let's repair and replenish where we can. Okay, well, so we've taken Warsaw now. Not really much else we can do. Let's get ready to end the turn and continue. So they've still got that territory further to the south. They've still got Vilnius in Lithuania. We still actually are at war with Kurland towards the north. Thankfully the Danes didn't come in, because that would have actually been a problem. We probably would have had to keep a larger and better quality military presence, but like at Brandenburg towards Berlin. But we might actually be able to snag Estonia and Lithuania, which is interesting. You'd think that would be more so under the Russian sphere of influence. Maratha once again want a military alliance. Sure. Sweden want a military alliance. 7,000, that's actually quite a lot, but diamond formation we have to give it. Gustav. Sure, let's accept it. Because they're probably going to be at war with Russia. I think war with Russia is probably going to be inevitable. So we'll make our beds and lie in it. Workers' strike in Poland. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, Austria is actually pushing towards us here. We're going to have to exempt the taxes. That's fine. Okay, we'll send Conrad Solskjaer to deal with that little enclave. What is there? 4 units, 2 artillery pieces, 2 cavalry, yeah. And we outnumber them basically 6 to 1. So we brought back the university and they've actually fled into Hungarian, Austrian-owned territory. That's fine. Alright, let's swing you further north. You never know, they could come back in eventually. And replenish where we can. So we've got 2 full stacks operating in Poland. Let's push up towards Lithuania now. Because you never... Actually, there's a fort there. Yeah, let's do that. I was going to say, let's just march straight to Lithuania, but however, we could get intercepted. Let's secure the fort, because fort battles are a nightmare in this. Let's rotate the East Prussian garrison to Poland. There we go. It's like chess. Tinkering stuff on the board. Okay, let's push for Lithuania now. Okay, guys, welcome to the top of the turn. So, one army's moving to Lithuania, and so that Poland army's come back again. Right, we'll send good old Otto Ritzel to deal with them. Yep, and we've gotten rid of them once and for all. That's annoying, isn't it? Raiding in this game. You nearly need sort of a light, smaller scouting / auxiliary force to wrap things up. So we managed to take the Polish fort here. We've burned a turn, so now we can comfortably push out from our defensive, protective position. So they're not going to accept the surrender there. We might need to siege them out and need another army up there eventually. Poland still burns. They still want... Whoa, hang on. Maratha Confederacy want an alliance, but they... No. I'm not going to give them a core German territory for that in India, which is probably going to fall to Mughals. I would be open to taking that territory, though. Wouldn't have a port. I'd rather the port one. Yeah, how about that? No, the economical difference is a lot. Maybe I'll just take that, because I might be able to do something there. Because, yeah, we might be able to get a Mughal territory. Would you give me that for military alliance? Nah. That, if you wanted a sort of different... Oh, no. The Mughals attacked Great Britain anyway. Monsoy, Afghanistan, Austria, Hanover, Prussia, Iroquois. Yeah. I guess we're at war with the Mughal Empire. Hopefully they don't do a similar thing like the reconquest of Iberia. That was crazy. I still don't believe that. That's probably one of the craziest AI actions of conquest I've seen in any Total War game in that Empire campaign. Absolutely nuts. Okay, guys, welcome to the top of the turn. We're going to be able to take Lithuania now. It kind of reminds me of sometimes... I remember I used to do this back in Medieval 2. Sometimes you basically do abandonment campaigns. So I'm sure you guys would have done this as well. So basically you take, like, I don't know, the Kingdom of Jerusalem, right? And you abandon it, and you flee to Malta, or you, like, flee to Ireland or something, or, like, play as the Byzantines and just, like, flee with the Byzantine royal house to Ireland and then, like, conquer England. Like, that's always quite fun, doing stuff like that, just removing a faction from their natural position and fleeing to a different one. But we've managed to knock out Poland and Lithuania here today, which is fantastic. But let's push towards their minor faction alliance in Kurland towards the north, because we border with Russia at St. Petersburg and Minsk for now. Okay, so there's a couple of small Polish armies still about, so we have to get rid of them officially. But we've taken Lithuania here, and already the Russians are eyeing us off. I don't know, maybe war was probably going to break out with the Russians a lot earlier than what I thought. But this is what we currently occupy: Brandenburg, Saxony, Poland, just to name a few. Ottomans are still going strong. Nothing overall has changed too much. The British still occupy territory in India. The Dutch in Sri Lanka, Ceylon, and the Marathans seem to be pushing the Mughals there, which is quite interesting. Over in the States, the United States is still holding on. Spain has Florida, and the French still have Louisiana. But, yeah, let's continue on. Rightio guys, I've skipped a little bit ahead to allow my armies to mobilize against Kurland. Mostly the prize against them is Estonia and Lithuania. So, yeah, so they're a protectorate of... Okay, they're at war with Russia, which is interesting. Anyway, let's send in Augustus, the conqueror of Lithuania, and Konrad Soltzer, the conqueror of Warsaw. So let's push towards the main army, because if we can neutralize this, which we have, we can swing back around and take Kurland, because you never know, the Russians could come in at the last minute, and that's not necessarily what we want. Oh, it's mostly Protestant there anyway, which is good. Okay, let's take their second territory, and I think we'll call it on that one today. So, if I can send more units up here, like, we're just out of zone of control. Yeah, that's going to bring it in, that's what we want. That'll be fine. We'll charge the cavalry in, and Kurland has now been defeated. Well guys, unfortunately on that note it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching the first episode of my Empire Total War Darthmod Prussian campaign as Frederick Wilhelm II, the nephew of Frederick the Great. Hopefully we can live up to his legacy. The main objective of this campaign is to ensure Prussia's legacy throughout the ages and make Prussia great again. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I've had an absolute blast. Let me know feedback and suggestions where you'd like me to expand and conquer, or what should come up against. We've still got, this is who we border with, so I guess everyone's a viable sort of conquest target. We've still got Denmark, we've still got Sweden, Austria, Russia, and the Western Germanic states. Much love from Australia. Peace. Unfortunately guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series, and if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.